Hey guys, welcome to another This Week in Van Life. I'm Joe here and we are hanging out in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and I have a fun week of stuff to share with you. First things first, check this out. We got the site number 1 here at Steamboat Springs for the month of February, and I don't know if you can tell, but that is a river back there. You may be able to hear it more than you can see it, but we are right next to the river, which means that we get to not only have cool views out the backside of our van every single day or light hour of the day, but we also get to hear the sound of the gurgling river when we're up in the pop top sleeping at night. So it's a pretty cool spot to be, and if you're ever going to be here and have the opportunity, you should look at this whole row here as river spots, or the Steamboat Springs KOA behind me opened up some more spots over in what they call the island section back there, which would be another cool place to put your rig, and it's further away from the road. So those island section over there might actually even be better than right next to the river here where we're at. Although I think it might cost a little bit more as well. So getting into this week in van life, right after the last video that I shot for you guys in Jackson Hole was a Sunday. We were gonna be taking off to go do some work at the Whole Foods and then start our trek down here to Steamboat Springs for the month. At 9 a.m. when I went to start the van up, it was -8 degrees, and I have never heard the van make a sound like this before. When I turned the ignition, it was like whoa, 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 whoa. And it's always just fired right up. The temperature had never really mattered before, but I think that the lowest that I ever tried to start it in was probably like single digits there. So we could not get this van started at all. Did not know what was going on. We had heard about diesel fuel gelling, but we had just filled up the van in Bozeman, Montana, which should have had some sort of treatment in that fuel so that we could have been able to start it. But there's also the possibility that other things were freezing and not necessarily working quite right. So fortunately, we were at the Fireside Resort still in Jackson, Wyoming, and the maintenance guy was super cool. He brought out a battery charger, because what can happen sometimes is when you start up a gelled fuel system or a really cold van, or any engine for that matter, it can put a lot of pressure on the battery. So me trying to start it 5 or 6 or 7 times was draining the battery or putting a lot of hard use on the battery. So the maintenance guy had a battery jump system to come and help us out. The downside was that we were supposed to check out that day on Sunday, and we could not get this van started. We tried about every half an hour for a couple of hours and it just was not coming. So fortunately for us, the Fireside Resort was super cool, and we called our roadside assistance that we have through our Visa cards. It cost us $60, and they had a local guy come out that was super nice, and he put a even heavier duty battery jumper charger on our battery and had us just work through it. So essentially we tried to turn the glow plugs on and off to heat the bottom of the engine there, and then try and start it after that. And after about 5 or 6 more times, it finally started up and we got the thing going. Then we drove immediately over to the auto parts store that was down the street and got some additive that we could put into the fuel, the diesel fuel, so that we could hopefully get it started up easier in the really cold weather. I'll put the link to the additive that we actually got down below. Can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll put it down below so that you could pick that up if you're driving a diesel vehicle and are going to be in super cold temperatures. The other things we looked into were like block heaters or like oil pan heaters. We haven't done any of them yet, so our goal now is to just make sure that we are going to start up the van. It's a little bit warmer and we have the additive in the fuel system if we know that it's going to be super cold. When we got to Steamboat Springs here, we had a couple of nights, a streak of like -15 for like 3 or 4 nights in a row, so things were just completely frozen out here, which makes it really hard in your vehicles. We actually had a Sprinter van across the way, that one, that wouldn't start one of the mornings as well. So you could see them putting a blanket on there, trying to heat up the engine to get that thing started. And they eventually did, but it took quite a while. It is crazy when the temperatures are that cold. The cool thing though is that our heating system behind me there in the van is definitely good enough to keep up with that -15 degrees, even with pop top up. So that's pretty crazy. We have that dual heating system. You should check out the other video that I did on how we stay warm in the winter with our dual heaters that keep us plenty warm, and it's a great system to have. And we've noticed other people around here that are running their diesel systems, but we have a dual electric system and a diesel system, and we haven't used the diesel system at all in order to stay warm while we're here plugged in at the KOA. One thing I should note before getting right into the places that we've stayed and the places that we're working that we really love in this area, it has been so dry here that we haven't even gone snowboarding once since we've been here in Steamboat Springs to try and snowboard for as much as possible during the month of February. It is amazing how dry it is. There's a couple of inches of snow in the forecast coming up, but it's nothing that, you know, you would stop what you're doing and run to the mountain for. So hopefully things change, but it has been one of the driest winters that I can remember. It is nice though that we're here because of this sun. That's why I have my hat on here and squinting my eyes, because it is so sunny out here. The sky is so blue, and it definitely makes a difference, and it's awesome to have this type of weather if it's not going to be snowing. And that's the cool thing about Colorado, is it seems like it's either snowing this time of year or it is sunny. Unfortunately, it is only sunny since we've been here and for the few weeks before. So hopefully things change and we'll get to do some awesome snowboarding here at the place that we pretty much love the most for snowboarding, but it hasn't really played out for us yet. The places that we've been staying, like I mentioned already, was the KOA and Steamboat Springs here, which is really nice, and also very nice if you're going to stay for a longer period of time. They give you discounted rates. We're all plugged in. The only downside I would say is that you have to drive over to a faucet that's heated in order to fill up our water tank, which usually is about maybe once every week or week and a half for us for our 20-gallon tank. We try not to use the water unless we have to, usually for dishes and just drinking, and that is it. Then we also stay and have stayed several times at the Rock Springs, Wyoming KOA, which is almost empty as can be this time of year, so super easy to roll in. And they actually have plugins and water turned on at a couple of their sites. As far as things that we like doing here in the Steamboat Springs area, we love getting sandwiches at the Yampa Sandwich Co., which is some of the best sandwiches we've ever had. We do a lot of work over at the Big Iron Coffee Roasters, or the shop in town. They have a roasters, and then they have the actual coffee shop that's in the downtown area. Both of them are great. Both have pretty fast internet, which is cool. The people are nice. The owner is super fun to sit and chat with over at the roastery. And we checked out some place called Clyde's Pies for the second time. It is a wood fire pizza place that is really great food, and the only downside is that they don't have a seating area that is indoors, so either you have to find a warmer day and sit outside. There's a heat lamp, but you could also get it to go, and just hopefully you get your pizza to a place that you can eat it before it gets too cold, which is kind of one of my recent gripes on ordering takeout, is that by the time you get it to where you want to go, the pizza tastes completely different. But Clyde's Pies, Steamboat Springs, very, very good. And last but not least, we got a smoking deal again this year at the Old Town Hot Springs, which is not only just a hot springs, which they have all these different pools that you can go sit in, but they have a sweet gym. And not only that, it is a Globo style gym, so regular style, 24-hour fitness style gym, whatever. But then they have a functional fitness room, which is the place where we mostly hang out in. And they have bumper weights, so you can drop weights. They have places that you can do muscle ups. They have GHDs. They've got all kinds of toys that you can use that is just like a CrossFit setup. And we can get a 2-person membership. I think we paid like $140 for the month, which is cheaper than what one of us would pay for a CrossFit gym, even if we were just doing open gym pretty much anywhere else in the United States that we've been. So you can go there, you can work out, you can sit in the hot springs. There's even an outdoor lap pool that stays heated year round. So they've got all of these really cool things that you can use for a pretty cheap price. And it's off of the bus line, which is, again, if you've never watched us talk about Steamboat Springs before, the free bus line here is one of the coolest amenities of being here, because it comes very often. You just hop on, picks people up at such a fast rate because there's nobody paying for it, and then it drops you off anywhere between the KOA here, which is the furthest stop, and then all the way up at the gondola at the mountain, and everywhere in between. So it is extremely easy to do, and why we never move our van here, because it is such an easy place to work, play, enjoy yourself, get things done, enjoy yourself. So there you have it. If you guys have any questions about this, let me know. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you really like this video, please subscribe. We are going to be keeping on doing these videos once a week as we get back into our routine of van lifing full time. Not that we haven't been living in the van full time, but actually out on the road full time here. Hopefully we get some snow. We were thinking about going over to Winter Park because it looked like they were going to get some more snow than they have here at Steamboat, but that may be getting downgraded as well. So anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week. And if you need anything, put those questions or comments down in the comment section below, and we'll talk to you next week.